Panama, Part 4. Well, I'm going to start with a little bit of housekeeping from Part 3. There's one other coin that came out in 1972 in both a business strike form and a proof. The proof obviously was not included as part of the proof set, but was available separately, the 5 Balboas. It's also part of this Grow More Food commemorative business strike. Some of these I think were actually they tried to circulate some of them, but it was getting hard to do that anymore. It wasn't really made for circulation. It's just like a mint set kind of thing. Now, starting in 75, there's no longer any proof sets being made for Panama by the U.S. Mint. The Franklin Mint took that over, and the Canadian Mint apparently made uncirculated coins similar to those of the Franklin Mints, which are totally different designs. But for 1975, there's the 1 cent. It's all business strikes. Once again, there's a 2.5 cent, also part of this Grow More Food commemorative program. 2.5 centésimos, pretty cool. And 5 cent. And 10 cent. Then the 25 cent. And the 50 cent. And all of these 10, 25, and 50 cent coins are standard clad design, exactly the same as the 10, 20, and 50 cent coins that America made for itself in those same years. There's nothing dated 1976, and in 1977, the W Mint alone is making the centesimo. By the way, notice the 75 dated pennies are made in Philadelphia. Okay. 78, same thing. W Mint makes the 1 centesimo pieces. That was it. 79, we start reintroducing some other denominations again. There's the 1 cent, Un Centesimo. And then we introduce the quarter Balboa, again as a standard quarter. I bet you could probably pick out the red edge if you look closely enough, but probably turn brown. All right, 1979 Media Balboa. 1980. Okay, centesimo, and again, this is made at the W Mint. Now back over here, now the 10 cent or decimo de Balboa is reintroduced. And the quarter Balboa. I think you can actually see a little bit of cartwheeling there. Finally, the Media Balboa, 1980. Nothing dated in 81, so we jumped to 82. Again, the W Mint made these. Now, of course, in the United States, 1982 pennies come in 2 standards. One with mostly copper, which this matches, and another with mostly zinc. Just as Panama was a little bit behind, here's the 5 cent for 1982, so now that denomination has also returned. So just as Panama was behind taking the silver out of the half Balboa or half dollar, whatever, no, it was also a little bit slow taking the copper out of the penny. It's kind of an interesting toning, this 1982 quarter Balboa. That's just an authentic and unusual toning straight off the print, straight off the mint. Kind of distinctive in a way. I like it. So there's a nice Media Balboa. And then we get to 1983. 1983, it was sort of like how 1982 was. Some were made at copper. I believe those were at the W Mint. But then at both W and Philadelphia, they went to the mostly zinc combination that the regular US penny had gotten the year before. So at last, the 1 cent, Un Centesimo, again keeps up with the standard of the American cent. So 5 cent, 5 centésimos, 5 centésimos, República de Panama. Now these coins dated 1963. Many of them were actually struck in fiscal year 1984. But since fiscal year includes the last physical calendar quarter of 1983, as well as the first 3 calendar quarters of 1984, it is not clear whether these coins would have been struck in 1983 calendar year or 1984 calendar year, hence my continued vagueness about when this stopped. But at any rate, regardless of what year any of these coins might have been struck calendar-wise, they're all dated 1983. And that marks chronologically the end of the U.S. mint-making coins for foreign nations, with the one lone exception of that commemorative for Iceland. And that finished out Panama.